Good morning to all of you. This is a simple demonstration of how the herbal vomiting process is being done. It's a special treatment in Ayurveda called Vamana. We are making in a very modified protocol so that you can easily imbibe how it is easily done. It's a process that is usually done for a wide variety of cases. The list is long, but it's very distinguished. Acute asthma is one of the simple indications, but there are many in the list. So what we intend out of the shooting here to you is to make it easy for you to imbibe the process and also to make you realize that it's a very simple process by its implementation and that you can easily endure the process without any difficulties. And the basic step for that is that it is done at empty stomach. In the morning timings, of course, preferably between 6 to 7:30 or maximum 8 before the sun is really hot. It's really hot outside, so we call it somewhat the kapha kala here. That is the time of the kapha. But in acute conditions, we don't wait for it, we do it any time when it is mostly needed. So the very first step is, there are 3 steps to it. One is the herbal curd drinking, curd and milk combination, which I'll show you now with sugar added to it. The second is the steam bath. It's always prescribed by massage. So the treatments, whichever is being done before the Vamana, just 15-20 minutes is more than enough. Just to get the steam acting all over the body. And third is, of course, the real vomiting process, which of course I'll be telling piece by piece, and we'll cut the recording now and make sure that we take piece by piece of those procedure. So today I am the beneficiary myself. I do it every year. I do it possibly a couple of times a year. It's a very healthy practice to cleanse the stomach once a while, at least once a year, if we can call it. But Vamana is more than just cleansing the stomach by its effects. But here what we do is the Sadyovamana. It's a modified protocol of the classical Vamana process. Classical Vamana process not everybody can afford, or rather not everybody deserves on them or him or her in a medical sense. So what we shoot here is very simple. And this is a combination of curd and milk and sugar added to it. So this is to be consumed in one shot quickly. In some people we use even half of it, which is also fine. Just to let you know, this is what we do. And after this is done, the process will be of Abhyanga, that is the herbal massage with oil, and then the herbal steam, which will be done in the chamber. Just another the steam box there. So I will be cutting off the procedure now to show, because now the Abhyanga and the steam happen, which doesn't need any kind of videos. But the main process of the vomiting will be shown further on. So I'll just be getting back into it very soon. Please hold on to your video. Now that the process of the steaming is over, or it could be also your treatment of the day. It doesn't have to be always. Does not have to be the steaming process only. If it is a treatment of the day that is getting over, then you are eligible for drinking this liquid. This is a herbal decoction prepared overnight. It's sweet in its taste, but there are many varieties of using it. Sometimes sugarcane juice is utilized, sometimes salt water is utilized. There are different varieties that can be used for inducing a Vamana. So any of these, ideally it will be 3 to 4 liters. Some people in 1.5 liters is fine. And what we generally make out of it, it will be just dumped to this, person will be vomiting out to this kind of a container, or it could be as good as the washroom there, which is also fine. Anything that makes you a revolting feeling is what is required. The process is that technically 2 most important things in this, just to make it easy for you. The first is to drink it as quick as possible. The fastest, the best, to get that kind of a trigger, or the kind of a reverse pressure, the amount of pressure the quick water, the herbal water would make into the system. The second is to carry on even if you're really fed up, because it's very important that you have a sense of persisting or being insistive of the procedure, because most people get fed up. Every time I do twice a year to me, I promised to myself that I'm not going to do it again, but here I am again doing it. So that's how it is, because the results are so nice, so relieving, and they are so lasting also. So the procedure is that once the person, because now once I start drinking, I would not be talking. It doesn't make sense to talk. Mr. GB would be hanging on with the camera, and the quick drinking will happen, so that you get a feel of, okay, this is how it is being done. The quick drinking, and technically these kind of dresses could be avoided, because I being on duty, I don't want to be without a shirt in the presentation. But when you are there in the treatment room, it is best to avoid these, or even trousers like these. It's for the sake of shooting that I have maintained it. Otherwise, if you are just on a one-piece undergarment, that would be making you the best comfortable to have that easy. Or a towel is also fine. Whatever is making you feel comfortable, to avoid that kind of tightness in the body by any means. So once we start drinking, it will be very fast. I won't be speaking to you. You will be seeing what I do or what I do not do. And you may have quite a pitiful face on me, but that's how it is, because it's quite a strong procedure once we start doing it. So I think we'll start it very fast now. And I don't know how I will finish this, but I should finish this as quick as possible. The first 4 or 5 glasses are pretty easy. Further and further you go, it's not easy. Camera you may be getting bored of me saying drinking it very often, so shift the camera to so that you don't get bored seeing me. It's not getting easy now. It's not easy now. Keep drinking. This is the only option. Keep drinking. The stomach hurts.
അണ്ണാക്കി വയറിലോട്ടുള്ള പരിപാടിയുടെ കാര്യം പറയണോ?
It's important to, sorry for my face, but it's important to be persistent and keep on drinking. You won't feel like drinking, you would never feel like doing it again in your lifetime. But I do it every year. And many people do like me. The point where you find the stomach is full, just put the finger in the mouth. It helps to bring it out. Otherwise the pain is quite like a full stomach. അവർക്കും തന്നെ അല്ലേ? ഇത് കാണിച്ചേരാ എന്റെ കേർഡ് എന്തെങ്കിലും പുറത്തു വരുമെന്നുള്ളത് ചിലർക്ക് ആശങ്ക അത് വരുമോ ഇല്ല എന്നാണ്. The curd, the milk, everything will definitely come out, no problem. എന്നാലും അത്ര keep drinking. There's no other option. Keep drinking. അവസാനം കൂടെ മതിയാവും. Into the 4 liters almost.
It's an ugly process, but it's worth it. It's also good to see it so that you feel more vomiting. Just stop here. Just stop here. Pratesh vomiting around. The process is almost over, and as you can see here, this much. It could be more also. In some cases, we will even have the bile. Almost everything that you ingest is almost out. The process is very important by the fact that you can expect no vomiting happening. That's very rare. We only had one patient this 7 years time here who had no vomiting after this much. And there are rarely people who would have no vomiting, no purgation also, because those who don't vomit, sometimes they get purgation, diarrhea. So the water has to come out anyway from either of the way, be it upper or the lower side of the body. And thirdly, there are people who will have vomiting and purgation both together, which is also a possibility. So basically on the day of cleansing it of this process, best to be at home, in your cottage, so that you are near your washroom or whatever, instead of going out to the town. But majority of the people finish the discomforts almost immediately as the procedure gets over. And there are some people who may have diarrhea coming later, further on in the day, which may or may not happen. But the most important thing is that you have the right kind of food, which is a porridge that will be supplied from the kitchen, restaurant, so that you have a situation where you get a rest for the stomach, because the stomach is going through a big bulwark by the vomiting process. Same applies to the purgation process also. It's a very simple porridge diet for the morning breakfast. When you really feel the hunger, then you need to have a breakfast. And when you feel the hunger at lunch or before lunch or after lunch, anytime is the time when you feel hunger is the time for food, and same applies for the dinner. So basically on this day of purgation, you can skip the medicine of the breakfast time or the lunch time. You can have the medicine of the dinner time. That becomes much easier. So this is how the simple procedure is. It's always a possibility that you have, as you see this me, not only cleansing this area, a lot of phlegm can also come out to the nostril area or the nasal area also, which is a very common thing. You may feel tired, you may feel a bit sleepy, everything is fine because part of the process. There's nothing to worry about it. Stop it.